The date is July 12th, 1998, Paris. The lights of the Stade de France were burning bright, and the world held its breath. This wasn't just a World Cup final. This was supposed to be a coronation, the crowning of the new god of football, the 21-year-old Phenomenon. He had been unstoppable all tournament. Everyone was certain Brazil would lift the trophy, and Ronaldo would write history. But just hours before the match in room 290 of the team hotel, something went wrong, horribly wrong. Roberto Carlos's screams echoed through the corridor. Ronaldo was shaking, seizing in his bed, foaming at the mouth. Those inside the room would later say, "We thought he was dying." The Brazilian national team froze. In that moment, nobody was thinking about football. A deathly silence filled the team bus on the way to the stadium. When they arrived at the locker room, chaos took over. When the first official lineup was released, Ronaldo's name was missing. The world was in shock. Commentators stuttered. Journalists scrambled for phones. Ronaldo isn't playing? Why? Then just 45 minutes before kickoff, the locker room door opened. Ronaldo walked in. "I'm fine. I'll play," he said. Coach Zagallo, desperate, added his name back to the list. They took the field. But the man walking through that tunnel was not the Phenomenon we knew. His eyes were empty. It was as if his soul had been left behind in that hotel room. The whistle blew, and Ronaldo wandered the pitch like a ghost. As Zidane's France crushed Brazil, he just watched. Brazil lost 3-0. That night, the world didn't just watch a match lost. They watched a superhero fall. Everyone said, "It's over." They said, "He cracked under pressure. He will never be the same." But they were wrong. This wasn't the end. It was just the beginning of a much more painful journey. But to truly feel the tragedy, you first have to understand the magic. So let's rewind the tape. Who was this boy? Before the world knew him as R9, he was just a skinny kid with braces in the dusty streets of Rio de Janeiro. He didn't even have bus fare for trials, but he held the world's greatest treasure, talent. He didn't just run, he glided across the pitch. When he landed in Europe, first at PSV and then at Barcelona, defenders realized they were facing an alien. We had seen fast players before. We had seen strong players before, and we had seen skillful players before, but we had never seen them all in one human body. He was as fast as a sprinter, as strong as a bull, and as graceful as a dancer. Remember that famous goal against Compostela? He took the ball near midfield. Defenders were pulling his shirt, kicking him, trying to bring him down, but he just kept going. His manager at Barcelona, Bobby Robson, held his head in his hands and said, "He is not a man, he is a myth." He went to Italy, the home of the world's toughest defenses, to Inter Milan for a record fee. Italian defenders had a rule. If the ball passes, the man does not. They hit him. They pushed him. But Il Fenomeno was unstoppable. He was like a glitch in the system. He was 21 years old. The world was at his feet. He was playing football from the future. But there was one thing nobody noticed. He was moving too fast, even for his own body. And then, that day came. April 12th, 2000, Rome. The Coppa Italia final against Lazio. Ronaldo had just returned from injury. He entered the game. He lasted only 6 minutes. He took the ball, attempting his signature step over. But this time, the defender didn't even touch him. Suddenly, a sound echoed that everyone in the stadium heard. A loud snap. Ronaldo collapsed. He was screaming in agony. His teammate Panucci covered his face in horror. Even the Lazio players were crying. What snapped on that pitch wasn't just a ligament. His kneecap had completely exploded, sliding up into his thigh. His patellar tendon was gone. The doctor's diagnosis was terrifying. Playing football again would be a miracle. He is lucky if he can walk properly. Surgeries, painful rehabilitation, and silence. 2 full years without football. The newspapers were ruthless. The phenomenon is finished. He should retire. He was alone in that hospital room. The World Cup was approaching, but he couldn't even walk. It was a dark tunnel. And in that darkness, everyone thought Ronaldo's story had come to an end. The year is 2002, Japan and South Korea. The World Cup was beginning, and a familiar name was on the Brazilian squad, but nobody believed in him. Everyone whispered the same thing. He is finished. He is too fat. His knees will never hold up. Ronaldo just stayed silent. In the middle of the tournament, the media pressure became so intense that Ronaldo came up with a brilliant plan. The next day, he walked onto the training pitch with that famous, bizarre triangle haircut. Everyone laughed. They said, "What a terrible style." But the plan worked perfectly. Nobody was talking about his knees anymore. Everyone was talking about his hair. The pressure was gone. The phenomenon was free. As the matches went on, the man they called finished started scoring. Against Turkey, China, Costa Rica. With every goal, the ghosts of 1998 were fading away. And then, destiny called. The day of the final arrived, June 30th, 2002. Yokohama. The opponent was Germany. In goal stood the tournament's best player, the man they called the Titan, the impassable Oliver Kahn. This wasn't just Brazil versus Germany. This was the ultimate duel between football's greatest striker and its greatest goalkeeper. The first half ended goalless. The tension hung over the pitch like the humid air of Yokohama. 67th minute. Rivaldo shoots. Kahn spills it. The man who never makes mistakes made a mistake. And there, waiting like a predator, was Ronaldo. He buried it in the net. 1-0. But he wasn't done yet. He had to close the account of 1998 completely. 79th minute. A pass from Kleberson, a dummy by Rivaldo. The ball falls to Ronaldo. Time stood still. The man who spent 2 years in hospitals, the man told he might never walk properly, placed the ball into the corner with the inside of his right foot. 2-0. When he was substituted in the final moments, the entire stadium was on its feet. As Ronaldo sat on the bench, he was crying again. But this time, it wasn't from fear like in France, or from pain like in Rome. These were tears of victory, of resurrection. That day, Ronaldo didn't just win a trophy. He defeated medicine, logic, and statistics. He taught us that falling is not the end. What matters is how you rise. The king had returned, and this time he had no intention of letting go of his crown.